Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into First Kings, specifically chapter 7.
Mm,
And this one, wow, it's less about narrative and more like an ancient architectural blueprint.
exactly. It's incredibly detailed. We're talking Solomon's palace complex, the temple furnishings. It's all laid out.
Yeah, the sheer level of detail on construction, materials, craftsmanship, it's pretty amazing.
It really is. It gives you a sense of the scale, the logistics, everything involved. Ancient engineering, really.
Okay, so let's start with Solomon's own palace. The first thing that jumps out is the time it took. 13 years.
13 years. Yeah, that's significant, especially when you remember the temple itself took 7.
Right. It makes you think his palace complex must have been, well, huge or incredibly complex, maybe both.
Probably both. The main building mentioned is the Palace of the Forest of Lebanon,
Likely name for all the cedar, I guess.
almost certainly. And the dimensions are massive. 100 cubits long, 50 wide, 30 high.
Just to give you a sense of that, 100 cubits is like, what, 150 feet? Half a football field, roughly.
Yeah, about that. And 50 cubits wide, 75 feet, 30 high, maybe 45 feet. It's a seriously big structure.
And built with premium stuff, 4 rows of cedar columns, cedar beams, cedar roof. 45 beams total, it says.
Lebanon cedar, the best you could get. Durable, smelled good, luxury material.
You can almost picture it. And the details, like high windows in sets of 3 facing each other. Rectangular doors, also in 3s.
Yeah, that points to a very deliberate, symmetrical design.
Yeah.
Not just thrown together. Orderly, aesthetic,
Then there's a colonnade, 50 cubits by 30 wide.
with a portico at front, pillars holding up a roof.
And the throne hall, the hall of justice, that sounds important.
Absolutely. Where he judged cases. And again, cedar everywhere, floor to ceiling, the text emphasizes. It's about projecting power, majesty.
And his personal palace, set further back, was apparently similar in design.
Seems so.
Hmm.
And interestingly, so was the palace he built for Pharaoh's daughter, his wife.
Ah, right, the political marriage.
Exactly. Shows statecraft in the architecture. You know, accommodating her appropriately with the same quality and style.
And the basic materials for all of it. High-grade stone, cut to size,
And get this trimmed with a saw on both inner and outer faces.
both sides. That's precise.
Very. From foundation right up to the eaves. Shows sophisticated masonry. These weren't rough blocks.
And the foundations. Huge stones. 10 cubits, 8 cubits.
That's like 15 feet, 12 feet long.
Massive foundations. High-quality stone. Then more cut stone and cedar beams on top. Built to last.
Even the courtyard walls get described. 3 courses of stone, 1 of cedar beams.
And the same pattern for the temple's inner courtyard wall. Consistency across the whole complex.
It speaks volumes about the organization, the resources.
Monumental effort. Okay, so from the stone buildings.
Right, the chapter shifts focus. It introduces a key figure for the temple furnishings, a master craftsman.
Purim, or sometimes Hiram, depending on the translation. Solomon sends to Tyre for him.
Tyre was famous for metalwork, right, Phoenician
Yeah.
city. The best. And Hiram's background is interesting. His mother was Israelite from Naphtali, but his father was a Tyrian bronze worker.
So a blend of heritage and skill.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And the text makes it clear. He was highly skilled, experienced in all kinds of bronze work. Solomon got the experts.
And the bronze work described is just incredible. First up, those 2 massive pillars for the temple entrance.
Cast by Hiram. 18 cubits high, about 27 feet, and 12 cubits, around maybe 18 feet in circumference. Huge.
And then the capitals on top, another 5 cubits high each, so 7.5 feet just for the tops.
Enormous bronze castings. And the decoration on those capitals. Incredibly intricate.
Tell us about that. It sounds fascinating.
Well, there's this network, like a lattice or chain work.
Yeah.
7 interwoven chains for each capital.
Okay.
And pomegranates. Lots of pomegranates. 2 rows encircling the network. 200 in total, it seems, decorating that bowl-shaped part.
Pomegranates, symbols of fertility, abundance.
Often, yes. Very common motif in the ancient Near East. Divine blessing, that sort of thing.
And there was another shape mentioned, a lily.
Yes, the capitals themselves, or maybe a part of them in the portico, were shaped like lilies, 4 cubits high.
So you have this intricate man-made network, the natural symbol of the pomegranate, and the elegance of the lily flower.
It's a really rich combination. Symbolic, beautiful, integrated right into the structure. And they even named the pillars.
Right. Jachin and Boaz? South and north?
Naming them gives them personality, maybe significance beyond just holding up the porch roof.
Adds another layer.
Okay, moving from the pillars, the sea of cast metal. This thing sounds immense.
Colossal's the word. A huge circular basin. 10 cubits across 15 feet, 5 cubits high, 7.5 feet, and 30 cubits around 45 feet.
That's just hard to picture the scale, and it stood on 12 bronze bowls.
12 bulls, yeah. Arranged in threes, facing the four directions northwest, southeast. Their back ends pointed inwards, supporting the basin.
Bowls, symbols of strength,
Power.
very likely. Common symbols, maybe linked to the 12 tribes of Israel too, or just cosmic order. Practical support, but with symbolic weight.
And the basin itself, a handbreadth thick, that's substantial, with a rim like a cup or like a lily again.
That lily motif keeps appearing. And the capacity, 2,000 baths.
2,000 baths. How much is that?
Estimates vary, but maybe around 12,000 gallons, a huge amount of water.
Wow. And decorations below the rim, too. Gourds.
Yes, gourds, 10 per cubit, cast in 2 rows with the sea, not added later, but part of the original casting.
Doing that in one piece, that's incredibly advanced metalwork for the time.
Absolutely. Speaks to a really high level of skill and, frankly, industrial capacity.
Okay, so from that giant sea, we go to 10 movable stands, also bronze.
Right, like carts or trolleys.
Huh.
4 cubits long, 4 wide, 3 high. So about 6 by 6 by 4.5 feet.
And the description focuses on panels, uprights, but the decoration again.
Oh, yeah. Dense decoration. Lions, bulls, cherubim, these powerful symbolic figures on the panels and the uprights.
More of those recurring symbols. And wreaths, too, hammered work.
Yeah, wreaths above and below the animals. And engraved figures, cherubim, lions, palm trees crammed into every available space, it says. Surrounded by more wreaths. It's incredibly ornate.
And they were movable. They had wheels.
4 bronze wheels per stand. Like chariot wheels, the text specifies axles, rims, spokes, hubs, all cast metal. Each wheel about 2.25 feet across.
The level of detail is amazing. Wheels under the panels, axles attached, supports for a basin on top, also decorated.
Even mentions a circular opening within the stand's frame, 1 cubit deep, round, with engraving around it.
And handles on the corners.
It's like reading technical specs. And crucially, all 10 stands were identical.
Yes, cast from the same molds, same size, same shape.
That's important. Standardization, maybe even a kind of mass production for these complex items, points to a very organized workshop.
Exactly, under Hiram's direction, presumably. And each stand held a bronze basin.
How big were those?
10 basins, each holding 40 baths, maybe 240 gallons, and measuring 4 cubits, or 6 feet, across. So these weren't just little stands. They were heavy-duty, ornate carts for carrying substantial amounts of water, likely for ritual washing.
Function and incredibly elaborate form, perfectly combined, shows real thought went into the practicalities of the temple rituals.
And we even know where they put them. 5 stands on the south side, 5 on the north.
Right. And the sea, that huge basin, was on the south side, at the southeast corner. It helps picture the layout of the courtyard.
Herman made other bronze things too, didn't he? Basins, shovels, bowls.
Yep, all the necessary equipment. And it specifies they were all burnished bronze.
Burnished, so polished, shiny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine the sunlight glinting off all this massive, ornate, polished bronze in the temple courtyard. Must have been dazzling.
And the casting happened down in the Jordan Valley plain, between Sukkoth and Zarethan, using clay molds.
Pinpoints the industrial site for all this work. And the sheer quantity.
Yeah, that detail is amazing. Solomon didn't even weigh it all. There's just too much bronze.
That says more about the scale than any specific number, doesn't it? The weight wasn't determined because it was just immense, uncountable, practically.
Yeah.
Incredible resources.
So that covers the bronze. But the temple interior had gold furnishings too.
Oh, yes. Pure gold. The altar of incense, the table for the bread of the presence.
The lampstands menorahs. 10 of them. Pure gold. 5 on the right, 5 on the left, in front of the inner sanctuary.
And gold floral work, gold lamps, gold tongs.
Gold basins, wick trimmers, sprinkling bowls, dishes, censers. The list goes on.
All the tools needed for the holiest rituals, made of the most precious material. It underlines the sanctity, the importance.
Even the door sockets. For the most holy place in the main hall, gold.
Everything that could be gold, it seems, was gold. Ultimate opulence, signifying ultimate holiness.
So by the end of this chapter, 1 Kings 7, the main work on the temple, the construction, and the furnishing is done.
Right. And Solomon brings in the things his father David had dedicated: silver, gold, other items, and puts them in the temple treasuries. It's like the final step, stocking the completed building.
Okay, reflecting on all this. The years of building, the precision in the stone cutting, Hiram's skill, the sheer scale of the bronze pillars and the sea, the intricate stands, the overwhelming amount of bronze and gold. What does this level of detail tell you our listener.
Yeah, what does it say about the priorities, the capabilities, the values of Solomon's kingdom? Why record all these specific measurements, materials, decorations like pomegranates and lilies and bowls?
How does reading this almost itemized list help you visualize this place? Does it make it feel more real, more significant?
It's definitely more than just a historical note. It's a window into their world, power, worship, art, technology, all wrapped up together thousands of years ago.
It really paints an incredible picture. We've walked through the palace, met Huram, seen the massive bronze work, the detailed stands, the golden interior, all described with such care.
Almost like an inventory, but also a statement.
So here's something to think about as we wrap up this deep dive into 1 Kings 7. Why this precision? Why did the writer feel it was crucial to list all these physical details, the cubits, the materials, the lions, and cherubim?
What symbolic weight? What hidden meanings might be encoded in these exact dimensions, these specific materials like cedar versus bronze versus gold, and these recurring motifs, all so carefully laid out in this ancient text? What's the message beyond just, they built a big temple?